Okay, so our problem says Cheryl gets paid $8 per hour, so that should be a big clue to you right there, that per. Remember we said that always means multiply. At her job at the record store. She made a total of $96. So the total of 96, that ought to be a clue that we're going to be equal to 96. Write and solve an equation to show how many hours she worked last week. So what don't we know? We don't know how many hours she worked last week. So I'm going to call that H for hours, and that's going to stand for the number of hours Cheryl worked last week. Okay, so we know we're going to get to 96 hours. That's our total. That's what she made, $96. Sorry, not hours, dollars. And we know that she worked H hours, and we know that she was paid $8 for every one of those hours. So it's $8 times H is going to give us our $96. So we make $8, or Cheryl makes $8 an hour. She worked some number of hours, and she earned $96. So if we want to know how many hours she worked, we're going to divide both sides of this equation by 8 to get that variable all by itself. Okay, so we've got H equals, and we have to do a little problem over here, right? 8 divides into 9 once. Of course, remember, in this unit you can be using your calculators, right? 16, and that's 2. 0. So she worked 12 hours to earn her $96. All right, let's look at the next one. A hot air balloon flew at 10 miles per hour. Remember, per, multiply. Using the variable h, write and solve an equation to find how many hours the balloon traveled if it covered a distance of 70 miles. Okay, so we know this per here is going to signify to us that we want to multiply something. And we know that we covered a distance of 70 miles, so total of 70 miles, so that sounds like it's going to be our equals. And we know that h, using the variable h, to find how many hours the balloon traveled. All right, so h is going to be the thing we don't know, which is how many hours it traveled. So hours traveled. And then we're going to set up our equation. Well, we know that we covered 70 miles, so we equal 70 miles. We know that we did 10 miles per hour, and this is what we don't know, the hours, so we're going to take our 10 and multiply it by our h, because we went 10 miles for every hour. And then to solve this, we'll divide both sides by 10, opposite operations, and we see that we traveled for 7 hours, because 70 divided by 10 is 7. So we traveled 7 hours at 10 miles per hour, and we traveled 70 miles. So that makes sense, because 10 times 7 is 70. All right, last one, you try it, and then we'll get together again and see how you did on that one.